Morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Trading Bitcoin with your host, Tone Vase. I really hope this microphone is working because, I gotta buy a new one. 3 months of travel, and I'm kind of ripping the connector to the actual mic. So I hope my directional mic uh, is working. But please let me know if the audio is crappy. In which case, I may not do any more videos until I get, back to the U.S. My next stop is, of course, back in the U.S., and I've been on the road since August. Right, let's jump into it right away. Still hanging out here in Dubai, guys. Got some nice backgrounds. Hanging out with some friends here. It's been a long time since I've well, my first time in Dubai, but it's been a long time since I've seen some people. Okay, audio is good. Hey guys, Unconfiscatable, up on sale, 20th to 20 to 23. These are your tickets, right? So we are going to have some more speakers, and prices will rise. So 81 tickets left at a very cheap price of $250 for the conference. After that, the price will go to like 350 or whatever, right? So you have 81 seats left, some VIP tickets left. This is the carnivory dinner, 65 seats left at the carnivory dinner with speakers. So speakers will have a seat at the carnivory dinner. This is basically the speaker dinner. And of course, the poker tournament, right? So the poker tournament is 0.1 Bitcoin. You can pay for it in dollars, but it's denominated in Bitcoin. And the pinball tournament that's going to take place. Not that many people will join the pinball tournament. Got some cool prizes for the winners of the pinball tournament. So please check out the conference. There's going to be workshops. Please review this website. More workshops are coming. Once I get back to the US, we will work on this. Other than that, tonevase.com, no workshops. Workshops are pretty much discontinued. If you go to products and services, I've been meaning to fill out. I'm not really doing consulting right now either. So there's no consulting. There is no workshops. You can still buy the webinars on demand. That's pretty much it. And of course, the indicator. So you can click on the indicator. And the Hyperwave webinars are up on sale as well. So you can check those out. And the indicator, if you're curious what those numbers are above and below my charts, that's where that is. And of course, affiliates, if you want to check out my work, click on the affiliates. I got to clean this up a little bit, but this is basically the only way you can support my work, because I don't know how much longer the free YouTube channel is going to last, because if I'm not teaching workshops or anything like that, and conferences is more for the community. Anyway, let's go to the charts. I didn't really get to do a deep dive. I forgot to talk about the S&P 500 last time. I know some of you don't care, most of you don't care, but a lot of you actually care. I almost want to go to the S&P first, but the market opens in 15 minutes, so maybe I'll wait. The Bitcoin market, nothing changes from our show with Willie. By the way, our show with Willie yesterday was absolutely awesome. You have to go and check that out. Because I don't know where the low is going to be this week, I have to, basically the short trade will activate next week if we start trading below this week's low. At the moment, because I know what the daily chart looks like, I'm actually not anticipating next week to break this week's low. Just because I'm not anticipating it doesn't mean it's not going to happen. Notice how when we had this 9, the price of Bitcoin crashed on the 9 and then rose ridiculously high. But we never had a green 2 above a green 1 or a green 3 above a 2 or anything like that, right? I'm almost anticipating that here. Notice this red 1 candle. The last time we had a red 1 candle on the weekly. Notice what happened the following week. We never went below the low of week 1. And then on week 3, we never went below the low on week 2. We needed, this is why this red line is here. On the 4th week, we only broke the prior week's low on a red 4. I'm almost anticipating the same thing. Maybe not on the red 4, but maybe on a red 3, or maybe at the very end of week 2. But because of the daily chart, because of this daily 9, I actually am anticipating a low sometime between a few hours ago and the next, let's say, 36 hours. I said this yesterday. Yesterday, I expected a low sometime today or tomorrow or the day after today, right? Or tomorrow. I'm still anticipating that. I trust the sequential. I trust the 9. Now, can this low be significant and drive us to new all-time highs? It's possible, but unlikely. Look at this 9 here. This was the 9 that broke us down from a triangle. And even though the low of this week's candle was not the ultimate low of this move, you can see how we did go lower 2 weeks later. And we did also go low a few weeks later than that. And then we hung around these lows, and then we ultimately went low to the 7,200 area of at the end of October. But notice where the low was on this huge 9 breakdown. The low comes in just at 8,000, around the current price. And then the price was basically in a range between 7,800 and 8,600, let's say, right? So notice how the low on this 9 candle for an entire month, from 24th of October to the 24th of September, up to the 24th of October, the low on the 9 candle was a hell of a lot closer to the low of this range than to the high of this range. Now, the 9 didn't exactly call the low, but it did end the big dump of the price. And then it took a little bit of time. It took a month of consolidation. We then broke down to 7,200 and then had a huge bounce to the upside. Now, on a weekly scale, it doesn't look like on a daily scale, it doesn't look like there is any reason for the end of the big drop. But if you go to the weekly scale, which is more important, you see that the big drop ended on a 9. Now, was it easy to time the 9 this week? Of course it wasn't, right? But sequential doesn't tell you that. It just tells you that, hey, this is the week where shit is going to be interesting and potentially good trading opportunities. We had the breakdown on a 9 here, and then we reversed the following week. We had the huge reversal on a 9, but early in the week, we had the big drop. The weekly chart here is not helpful at all. The weekly chart in this vicinity was very, very critical because it was the end of the drop on a weekly 9. Now, the weekly 9, the weekly chart right now, according to sequential, is not helpful. You're never supposed to trade price flips in the middle of other countdowns. I mean, I would trade the green 1. I would trade the green 1, the red 1 price flip if this was a 9 candle, but it's not. So the weekly sequential is not helpful at all on this current week. But the daily sequential is telling you, hey, this daily candle which still has 12 hours to go or 11 hours to go, could be a very insane candle. This candle could fall twice as much as it already did today. This candle can go all the way to 7,500 or lower. But this candle could also be similar to this weekly candle where we fell in the first half of the candle and then had a ridiculous rebound on the other side. So if I was actively trading, this is the day that interests me very much. I am actually looking for a potential low. Either the low has already happened or it's coming in the next 24 hours, let's say, okay? If it doesn't happen in the next 24 hours, then I would be anticipating a big breakdown, potentially all the way down below 7,000. But the odds are that we have just fallen from a high of 10,400 or whatever this is, 10,400. We have just fallen from 10,400 all the way down to below 8. That's a pretty big move in a short amount of time. That is, what do we got? That is a 25% move in not much time, right? I don't have a time scale here, but what, about 2 weeks maybe? Go to the weekly chart. A little more than that, right? 4 weeks. 4 weeks. There you go. 4 weeks. Really? That's 4 weeks? Yeah, I guess so. Okay. Less than 4 weeks, right? This is October 26th, November 21st. Okay. 3 weeks. In 3 weeks. A little more than 3. Whatever. Doesn't matter. That's a big move. And I don't think Bitcoin at this moment in time is ready for the big capitulation move down. Just because I don't think it's ready doesn't mean it's not going to happen. I am overall more bearish than bullish. But for the next week or so, I am more bullish than bearish. Like this would be my time to try and catch a falling knife. And my stop loss on it would be very, very small because I'm just trying to time this low. Now, how would I try to time this low? The daily chart is already, the daily candle is already halfway in. So it's possible the low is in. Can the 12-hour chart help us? Actually, it could. Notice how the 12-hour chart is at an 8 and it's starting to form a reversal candle. The next candle will most certainly be a 9, and I can guarantee you already that it's going to be a perfected 9 because the low came in on candle number 8. The low on candle number 7 is 78.31, and the low on candle number 8 is 78.21. So you are going to have a perfected 9 buy opportunity in about 9 hours, unless the price of Bitcoin goes above 8,100 in the next 9 hours, right? I'm not going to be with you for the next 9 hours. So just keep that in mind. So now we have a daily 9. Now we have a 12-hour 9 coming inside a daily 9. So already the daily and the 12-hour are telling me that the low may be in or close to it anyway. The low could be in here. Look at the 4-hour chart. Now the 4-hour chart, now the CMF on a 4-hour chart is completely disastrous. So let's not even look at it. The 4-hour chart, while potentially giving you a nice low off of a 9 on a 4-hour chart, remember the 12-hour chart and the daily chart still had their 9s yet to go. So it makes sense that this 9 was a little early according to the daily and weekly charts, but there is a 13 right here. The 13 is also relevant, and now you have a 13 in a potential reversal candle. So right now, while everyone is panicking as the price of Bitcoin once again fell to 7,800, I am actually pretty bullish for the looking to time the low mentally, because I don't have time to trade. I'm sorry, guys, at the moment. Maybe next year. Mentally, I am looking for a bounce here because I feel that this is completely oversold on a short-term level. And the sequential is confirming this. So my 12-hour chart is in line with my daily chart and is somewhat in line with the 4-hour chart. I don't really want to go deeper, but we can glance at the 1-hour chart. Oh, there's a 9 and a doji candle. Wow, wow, wow. That's interesting. So the hourly chart is telling you, hey, things might have bottomed. Not a perfected 9 would have been better, but a 9 is still a 9. 10-minute chart, nothing really that interesting. This would have been a nice 10-minute reversal, but you can already see how we were consolidating below it. I like this. I like this potential swing trade to the upside here. Now that's not a good looking candle. It looks like we're now flirting with 78.44. But like I said, sometime in the next, I mean, you can go further in, but that's already a 10-minute chart. So I'm going to go back to the 4. That's fine. Now, even if I zoom out this 4-hour chart, now notice this big thick red line that we just broke. This thick red line is my best fit line to represent a huge risk. This line represents a huge risk to the price of Bitcoin going down to the bottom of the channel. And the bottom of the channel by the start of December is down below $6,000. In fact, it's down closer to $5,000. Right. So if I go to like, December 1st, we're looking at 5,300. Okay. But because it just took us a lot of time and a lot of effort and a lot of energy to get down to this, very critical line, and this is a best fit line. It's not a perfect line. I drew this as a best fit line. That's how I draw my lines. Notice how we have closed and traded below this line on 1, 2, and 3 occasions. And the last time we traded there, we rallied hard. So while this line is overall critical, it's not perfectly respected. So going below this line, being below this line for a day or so, or even 2 days, and then going back above this line is perfectly reasonable. So for me, at the moment, this line represents an area of support. But if this line gets crossed again in early December, I think it's going to get very ugly and very ugly very quickly. If we're lucky, the middle of this channel will finally put the end to the bear market. If we're unlucky, the bottom of this channel will put an end to the bear market. But this is a very steep channel. And if we're going to hit the bottom of this channel going into February, we are talking sub $4,000 prices. So the earlier you hit the bottom of this channel, the better off you actually are. Okay. Do we have to hit this channel? Obviously not. Okay. But that's my current view. So at the moment, I'm short-term bullish, intermediate-term bearish. And obviously, I am always long-term bullish, but my long-term bullish is coming closer and closer to reality because the halving is coming. So at worst case scenario, I become a bull after the halving. Okay, so worst case scenario, I'll become a bull after the halving. All right. Once again, since I do have 900 viewers and I do have to shill a conference that I am organizing, please check out unconfiscatable.com. You guys had a little bit of a break with me not shilling anything between the financial summit and my next upcoming event. So unfortunately, the good times are over. And please check out the financial summit. This is how you can come and hear some of the best speakers that I was able to get to speak at this conference. We have Willie Wu, we have Trace Mayer, Max Kaiser, still trying to get Saifuddin, he spoke there last year, Jimmy Song, of course, and many others. The entire law crew will be there. It's going to be great. Poker tournaments, carnivory dinners, pinball tournaments, check it out. And if you guys want to support my work, please check out the affiliate page. There's really not much in the products and services. You can still purchase the indicator. You can purchase the on-demand videos. There are currently no workshops other than at Unconfiscatable. I'm not sure why. Oh, that's Socrates. Okay. So Socrates has a, we are handling registration for Socrates' workshop at Unconfiscatable conference. Not open yet, but it will be. And of course, my registration is open for Las Vegas. It'll be an advanced trading workshop, so check those out. Okay. Okay, S&P 500 is now opened, and this is what I really wanted to take a look at. I'm not going to look at the shitcoins today. I don't really care. Maybe I'll look at gold. Gold has back tested absolutely perfectly. I don't know when the last time I talked about gold, but this is absolutely beautiful. Look how perfectly we came to back testing the breakdown level, and I believe we are now headed to the downside. In a perfect world, this would have made it to a 9. It would have gone up a few more weeks, gone up a little bit slower, but I believe that gold is now ready to go back down. I have not had time to pay attention to the macro trend. I know there's like crazy stuff going on with the Chinese yuan and whatever Trump said. I don't really know, but I'm looking at this, and I totally did not even realize. This is why we have the notification service. Talk about calling the perfect top. 9 and 13. That if you know anything about sequential, you know you need to get the hell out of the stock market on when was this? The 18th and 19th. That was Monday and Tuesday. I personally probably would have gotten out at the end of the day on Friday. But even if you didn't get out at the end of the day on Friday, you could have got out even better on Monday, and you could have got out even better on Tuesday, assuming you got out at the high. Okay. Oh, let me get the door, guys. Hold on.
Sorry, are you bringing my phone? No, it's all good, man. It's all good, man. Nice.
That's fine. My camera's facing your bar.
It's all good, man. All good.
All right, guys, I'm back. Okay. Could we have timed the bottom? Like, I'm tempted to zoom in. Let's talk about the macro trend. Look at your MACD. Your MACD has crossed over. So not only did the sequential tell you to get the hell out of the market, look at these two reversal candles at the top. That is a borderline doji, and that is a borderline shooting star. You have the sequential 13 and the 9 setup. Perfect sign. Look at your RSI. Your RSI told you to get the hell out of the market on this day. What day is that? The 20th, okay? Your RSI tells you to get out on the 20th. Your MACD tells you to get out on the 20th. Everything happened on the 20th. Now the sequential and reversal candles beat it by 2 days, okay? Both of these days are telling you to get out. I can pull up other indicators, but I don't have infinite time. I'm on battery power, and I don't have a plug where I'm sitting. So told you to get out, you got to get out. Now, what about today's candle? Well, today's candle means absolutely nothing. Today's candle is a red 1 price flip, and you are still trending down until I see a green 2 above a green 1 above the 9, I am staying out of this market. Would I be in a short trade right now? The answer is maybe. Maybe I would be in a short trade right now. Why would that be a maybe? Well, if you look at the weekly chart has broken out, and the weekly chart is only on a 5 of 9. So your weekly trend is actually bullish. Your short term is above the intermediate term moving average, is above the long term moving average. So your there's lots of weekly metrics. The bigger time scale tells you to still be bullish the S&P 500. So that means the most likely outcome from this 913 top in the S&P is simply a 1 to 4 candle correction to the downside, followed by more upside, but you don't know what's going to happen. So for the time being, I would simply be out of the S&P 500 and ready to deploy back into the S&P 500 the moment we start approaching new all-time highs again. I'd rather be in a long trade right now than a short trade because my weekly is still bullish. So can the daily pull back in a similar way like it did in September? The answer is yes. The MACD also told you to get out. The RSI was not even overbought. The 9 did not time it as perfectly as it did this time. So what am I looking for? At the moment, my worst case scenario is a drop in the S&P 500 to approximately the last setup trend line, which is around 3,065. The current price, 3,100. That's not a big enough drop for me to activate major short trades. And this drop could have already ended. The 1 to 4 candle correction may already be played out. So right now, I would be in cash. And I am not looking for short trades until the weekly chart shows me significant weakness. And right now, there is zero weakness on the weekly chart other than being a little bit overextended. Can we pull back on a weekly scale down to this breakout area? Of course, okay? But that's not enough for me to be bearish the S&P 500. So I'm still bullish the S&P 500, but I would not be in the long trades at the moment, okay? That's pretty much it, guys. That's all I really wanted to say. I don't have time to look at individual name stocks. That's all I really have for you. Once again, if you want to support my work, check out the affiliate codes, register for Unconfiscatable in Vegas. That is the next conference that is coming up, organized by yours truly. And you can check that out as well. I am still here in Dubai. I will be here into the middle of next week. I am back in the US. After that, I've probably been in the US no more than 2 months this entire year. Probably won't be there for long either. I would like to take a break, but you know, duty calls. And we'll see what goes from there. Thank you so much for watching. Please check out the stream with Willy Woo from yesterday. It was absolutely amazing. And I will see you all on the next one. Bye from Dubai, guys. Talk to you all on the next one.